My new thing, fits in a clock, breaks in a car, pulls on my brain. Are you ready to see? This is my new thing. Are you ready to see? This thing is my new thing. Shyness will show, excitement will glow. I'm sharing this thing. That thing is my new thing.
Hi, folks. It's comedian Dan Wilbur.
And comedian Zach Sims. And guess what? You're listening to a brand spanking new episode of My New Thing. That's right. This isn't a rerun.
That's right. This isn't a clip show. We're not there yet.
Oh, man. Do they do podcast clip shows?
We don't have enough clips. They do some.
That is sad.
They do some. It is sad, but you know what? I've listened to every one. If I'm a fan of the show, and I go, this is a good memory. That was a good bit.
It's one of the, it's like, reason why you also wouldn't do that on a TV show now is because we have access to all of those things.
Right.
It's like that comes from a time when you couldn't just look up or listen to all your favorite things. But that's why our promise to you is My New Thing. We'll never do a clip show.
We'll never look back on any of this.
No, we want to
You listen to
forget
it now, and then don't ever bring it up to us.
Honestly, I take a little roofie myself after each episode. Just forget and take a little nap.
You know, I just meditate. But if you need to take a drug, that's fine.
Well, we all have our different ways. I prefer the easy way out.
That's right. Zach, what is your new thing this week?
Oh, my new thing is, well, it's not really a new thing, but it's a new observation, I would say, because it's weed stores. I've been going to weed stores for 45 years.
I've heard about it.
Now, I don't know if you know this, weed is legal in New York now. The law has been passed, which is a great thing for all of us. So now there are dispensaries popped up. Initially, the first wave when weed was legal in New York, it was just guys in corner stores illegally selling bad weed.
Right.
And it was incredible that it lasted for about 6 months. Nobody seemed to care. And then eventually someone was like, well, I guess we got to do something about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever you go past your favorite bodega and you see 6 cops outside and you go, okay, I guess it's over.
Absolutely.
The ride is done.
And to be honest, better place than a bodega to sell weed, I can't think of one. You got the snacks right there.
They're right there.
There's always fun dance
got a
music
cat?
playing. You got a cat? You can pet. You got a cat you can pet. I think we just found a stand-up bit. Oh man, I got to get back.
Come on, you got to try comedy.
Absolutely. Now there's legal weed stores, and one thing they did, which is very nice. I think
Legal Lead. That's your name of your store.
Absolutely. But one of the things they're doing now with these legal weed stores, which is a nice thing, is that the people who run the stores are all people who have been convicted of weed offenses.
Oh, right.
Who have had some sort of time. So there's a store in the East Village called Con Bud. It's the name of the store. They also have upstairs Con Fitness. Where
Instead of Kind Bud. Is that the idea?
Yeah, you got it.
I'm keeping up.
But they're also cons.
Yeah, they're also
you get
cons.
to play. So they do also a prison workout upstairs, which is funny. But what I love about it, and I recommend going there if you're in New York, not for the weed. The weed is mediocre at best. But what I love about it is that it's in a part of New York, Manhattan, that now has lots of rich people. So you get to go in there and you just see people who have done time, nice,
sure,
cordial, helping you people, but people who have a history, have lived a life, talking to like a white 48-year-old rich woman who's just like, what kind of strain feels like rosé? You know, and they have to deal with them with a straight face. And it's
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I think it's a better job than in Cleveland. I think there was some kind of release program at the barber college near me. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's just something an old racist man told me, but it was really cheap haircuts.
Absolutely.
And it was clearly people who had done time, and you could get a $3 haircut for $5. It was great. And you'd leave and you'd be like, well, I'm just glad I didn't get hurt. And you'd go home.
And you're giving back to society.
Yeah, I think that is what it was. Well, you used to, because you get paid like 2 cents a haircut in prison because it's legalized slavery is what it is. Well, pay them the minimum wage, I say.
Sure.
And that's my stance. Now, I was also going to ask you if you had heard of Dave's Killer Bread.
Oh, of course.
This isn't an ad. Yeah.
No, we have that in the house.
I love Dave's Killer Bread, but I'm afraid to say anything negative about it because, they're doing the Lord's work by employing cons. But, that's the premise, is that he employs felons.
Well, and the tricky part is putting killer in the title.
I don't know
of
what he did. I think he was like in a biker gang.
It does imply that some blood was shed.
He's probably going to kill us just for mentioning this, but I'm plugging it.
Think about that publicity we would get after the fact.
Yeah, that's right. This is the #1 podcast for casually just mentioning something and then getting murdered for it.
And then people are like, oh, they kill him. They killed him during the show. And you're like, no.
No, they're just talking about their hobbies.
Just made a banal observation. But you can do the research.
I'm just afraid to say anything bad about the bread. That's all.
It's fine bread.
It's fine.
It's fine bread.
I like it.
Healthy bread is like, you want a little of that bullshit in there because it adds
right.
some
Well,
flavor.
Speaking of putting bullshit in your food,
sure.
My new thing this week.
I was going to ask, just so you know, I was going to ask.
I just thought this was a killer transition.
Absolutely.
And I didn't want to miss my time.
I just don't want you to think that I wasn't going to ask. I was going to ask.
I believe you.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been making fruit smoothies.
Hell yeah.
And the thing is, I'll make the smoothie. I put some nuts, some yogurt. I put bananas in there. I put frozen strawberries, some blueberries. I put in a lot of stuff I like. I mix it up. And then I feel sated after I drink it. I feel amazing. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the day, I'm bored because I realized that what I used to do is just eat all those foods.
Sure.
That's all I used to do. And I was like, oh, right. I would get bored and I'd eat like a healthy snack. Mm-hmm. I'd eat some almonds and some yogurt. But instead, I just drank it. I just shot it right. I'm just trying to get to the intravenous shot of smoothie.
Sure.
So I don't even have to think about food anymore. I'm going full feeding tube. Just put it right in there and just make me feel not hungry anymore with this soupy sludge.
And I think you're real. One of the fun things about eating is the activity, is that it fills the time.
Yes.
What are you doing with the free time now? It seems like you're pining
I
for
was
food.
working out a lot.
Sure.
And I read on the internet, what if you got more protein? Mm-hmm. And then the New York Times was like, protein is a fad. Don't do this to yourself.
Are they post-protein at the New York
They're not
Times?
post-pro. They said that you can't really hurt yourself.
Okay.
But it's probably also doing nothing like everything else, every other supplement that we put in our bodies. Because
like voting,
I got some protein. Yeah, that's right. So I put some protein powder in this that tastes like dirt.
Yeah.
And I love to eat dirt flavored things. Potatoes, beets, all the stuff that's healthy tastes a little like dirt. Peas.
You like to take things that you enjoyed
and ruin it.
Yeah, get them into a form that's almost intolerable.
Yes, and that's the point I wanted to make, is that you just asked me, how did this start? What are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself? Mm-hmm. And I just want to say, no one asked me to do this. No health professional said it was a good idea. Sure. In fact, when I looked up, is whey protein good for you or is pea protein good for you? They both said, this will not help you lose weight, which was the goal. It's supposed to be if you're trying to gain weight.
For bulking.
It's for bulking. Yeah. And I lift upwards of twice a week.
Attaboy.
And there's no leg day. It's all body once or twice if I feel like it. And then I'm still hammering these shakes. So I'm going to be an oddly shaped man.
Oh.
But I will be full of protein. I'll be ready to be stronger.
You'll be prepared for the insults that'll come your way for your creepy, weird body with all the secret muscle you gained with these proteins. You'll always be taunting people to attack you.
Yes.
And then that'll be almost like a Charles Bronson film.
Yeah.
Instead of having your wife murdered, you just had a lot of shakes. Would be the difference.
Yeah, but what if like the movie Crank or Taken were about a guy who just called the cops and said, can you deal with this? Because I'm doing my shakes right now.
Well, Dan, your protein-filled body is going to love the episode that we just recorded with the very, very funny Ashley Brooke Roberts. Ashley is talking to us about the CBS program Big Brother.
I'm just going to tell you, can I tell you what I'm into right now? Because going back in time, it's like, who am I? Who was I? I don't know. I
don't want to live in the
myself
past.
Every 6
Yeah.
months. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right now I'm really into vintage sheets. So
Okay.
I've been hitting up a lot of thrift stores, Goodwill type things like Savers, Salvation Army, going straight to the bedding. I beeline for the bedding, and
Yeah.
I'm looking for vintage cartoon sheets.
Oh.
So
And
like,
And you want it? And okay, for kids.
yeah, like a 1960s Charlie Brown sheet, a 1990s Winnie the Pooh sheet, like an old vintage Scooby Doo sheet. I'm looking for old vintage cartoon.
Because when you
sheets.
first said vintage sheets, I was like, someone has to have died on top of these. They must be a fancy, like a 200 thread count and vintage.
Oh, that's so not fancy. That's like you named like the least fancy thread.
I don't know. I don't care about myself enough to buy a high thread count.
Are you
200
sleeping?
is not great.
Are you sleeping on these sheets, or are you putting them
No.
up? Or?
I'm just collecting them for future use.
Oh wow! Are you gonna make a pillow, or are you gonna make?
The plan is to make stuff with them. I made a bag out of a pillowcase recently, so it's like I plan on making things with them one day.
Right.
But right now, I'm just in the collecting phase, which is my favorite phase to be in.
Sure.
Yeah.
No
You have all
pressure on the collecting. You can just continue to collect.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's the most fun.
You have all that raw material. I saw on Instagram a shirt that had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on it, because that's what they advertised to me. It's just at-home ketamine treatments and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And they're like, you could just become a baby again. Wouldn't that be fun?
Wow.
And the shirt was exactly the sheets I had as a boy. And I was
Ding,
like,
ding,
that
ding.
upsets me, but I'm into it. And I bought it. And
I
you'll
gotta
never
tell
see it.
you, I first off, we got to see it. Second off, I have been on the hunt for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle vintage sheets, and I can't find them. I can only find like new release, and they're not as good. They don't look as cool. They don't feel good, because there was an actual pivot in bedding in the past like 20 years, where they've gone from like 100% cotton for kids to like a poly blend. So it feels really like cheap and bad. And those I avoid, to be honest.
Now, did this happen because you loved a set of sheets a long time ago? Why did this start?
Oh my God, it's so embarrassing.
I'm so excited.
So embarrassing. I saw a woman in Disneyland wearing a dress made from a vintage Disney sheet. And I was like, oh my God, that is so cute. And she was like, thank you. I bought it on Etsy. And so I went to Etsy to look it up. And I found like a couple of, I can't remember their names, but there's different like Etsy places where you can pick out the vintage sheet and they'll make a dress for you. And so then I started getting into like a specific vintage sheet sewing influencers on Instagram. And then I started finding these sheets, and I thought I better buy them now, and so I can save them up so that when I learn to sew, I'll be able to, make something with them.
This is great. This is like when that guy from Man on Wire, the dude who traversed the Twin Towers on a single rope. He thought about doing it before the Twin Towers were built. And that's what you're doing. But with sheets, because you don't know how to sew yet.
Exactly.
So you're like, one day.
It's so funny. It's actually very funny that you bring up the Twin Towers, because
Okay.
People say that a lot.
People have said it on this podcast multiple times.
because one of the most iconic Big Brother moments involves the Twin Towers.
Okay,
Are you
well then
guys
let's
familiar with the show?
Yes, let us introduce it,
Okay.
and we'll let you introduce it, that your obsession that you came to talk to us was not, in fact, bed sheets, but the TV show Big Brother.
That's right. It's Big Brother, which is a competitive game show. It's like strategy game show. Some people call it reality TV, and those people are wrong.
Okay.
I don't think it's really reality television. I think it is a game show. It's a strategy-based game show that goes over the course of like 80 days, where people are secluded on the Paramount lot in a set designed to look like a house. They have like a little yard. They have a bunch of rooms. They all have to share one bathroom unless you're head of household, and then you have your own bathroom. And every week, I know, it's nice being head of household. And then every week there's a new head of household, there's new people on the block, and someone gets evicted until you get to the end where the jury, which is usually the last 7 people who were evicted. It used to be the last 9, but they've kind of condensed the jury because the jury gets like a per diem. And so they're cutting corners. Then the jury votes for the winner, who wins $750,000. So it's similar to Survivor in the sense that you have to like outwit, outlast, outplay. But there's huge differences. And a bunch of those, the biggest difference is that I would definitely do one and I wouldn't do the other.
Is that because you don't want to share the bathroom with multiple people? Is that the main reason?
I don't like sharing the bathroom, but I also think like there's something, first off, I'm an only child. I was raised an only child. I do have a little brother now, but semantics.
Sure.
So in the Big Brother house, you can't leave. You're always with these people. But Survivor, you can like go take a walk.
Right.
Like the people in your tribe might be like, she's looking for an immunity idol, but like, who cares? You can still go and be alone for a while. And I think that's big. I also think this is something I've noticed with the 2 shows is that Survivor people tend to like, all of these shows, competition-based reality shows, are kind of huge microscopes for what is wrong with the world and society. Mm-hmm. So, like, you see all the isms, the racism, the sexism, the homophobia, everything comes out. Everything's bigger in this way, unfortunately, when you're playing for a lot of money. And you see it more intensely, in my opinion, in the Big Brother house. And that is because, in my opinion, again, I will write a paper about this. With Survivor, they are like struggling. They're uncomfortable. They don't have that much food. So you see people come together in a way where they work together, and people, like-minded people, tend to link up on Survivor. In Big Brother, all of your needs are met. Okay. You have all the food you want. You're comfortable. You're just lounging. You have a pool. And so when all of your needs are met in that way, your worst traits are amplified. And that's what I've seen on Big Brother.
Right. Well, I don't watch Big Brother specifically. I did watch a lot of Love Island with my wife which is basically musical chairs, but with genitals, where they're like, you gotta find some genitals to attach to, or you will be kicked off. And it is like a game show, except that some of it, and I'm assuming this is on Big Brother because Big Brother gets its name from 1984 and it's all like closed circuit TV. They're constantly spying on you. Is that some of Love Island feels like a science experiment where they're like, what if we just left these cameras on these people? Would they devour each other? And everyone starts out friends. And then by the end of it, they're like, I can't believe you would do that to another human being. You don't have a soul. Goodbye. And you're like, but this was a game. We were all just playing a game. And they're like, I think there's something happens to people if a camera's on you for an extended period of time, is that you learn. I think we'd all find out a lot about ourselves. And that's scary.
But also Love Island's a perfect example because all your needs are met. There's food, there's a pool, there's a bed.
And they don't eat any of it, so that helps.
Yeah.
Is that their needs are met. They have a pancake in the morning and then they seem to not eat anything else for the rest of the day. I
don't watch much Love Island. I do not watch shows where people fall in love. I don't want to watch people fall in love.
Who needs it? I don't want to see that.
Disgusting. I'm not a Bachelor girl. I also don't really watch Housewives. I'm not interested in how rich people live. Mm-hmm. So I did watch some Love Island UK because they talk funny. So I was into that. But yeah, it's a very similar. There was actually this study done. I'm going to make this up, but the 1980s, 1970s? I don't know. There was a study done.
The Stanford prison experiment.
I don't know when it was. And they created a utopia for mice. Okay. So they created this world where mice lived in a perfect utopia. All of their needs were met. And they descended into madness where they created these different social classes where there was like one social class which was like the pretty boys, which were these like muscly, hairy mice that would like groom themselves all day long. And
was this a dream you had, or was
no,
this
this is a real
for real?
study.
And none of the mice would talk to me.
None of the mice.
Like-
Everyone was so rude.
The pretty boys were like the top, and then like the bottom were like the outcast mice, and they would like hurt, they would like tear, they would bite their skin, they would scratch themselves, and they all stopped reproducing. So it's like their whole desire to survive and advance disappeared when all of their needs were met.
Wow.
And that happens in the Big Brother house to some degree.
It feels a bit like middle school. That's kind of how I feel. It feels like you got the jocks. You got the people who don't like themselves as much. Also, in middle school, your needs are sometimes met, maybe not by your parents.
My middle school was full of rats.
Sure. Well,
Just full of rats.
There you go.
Cleveland.
The Big Brother house is full of
dilapidated.
ants.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, they have an
They're
ant
having
problem.
their
They
needs met.
always, they're eating a lot of leftovers. Now, have we talked about the live feeds? Do you know what the live feeds are?
Well, I was gonna.
No.
So I was gonna ask this because I, as a child, I am like the prime age that both when Big Brother and Survivor popped, I watched the first season of both with my family. We would gather around the television. We'd watch a little Billy Graham, of course, just to get loose.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then we would, just
know what you did wrong
just
this week.
to hang 10, And then we would watch. And I remember, basically what I remember is Survivor, of course, the big fat naked guy. Who could forget that? And then if I remember correctly, Big Brother, the gentleman who won the first one, had no legs. Do I remember? Am I correct in remembering that? Do you remember that, Ashley?
I think these are all just dreams we had.
I actually never saw season one. I never saw season one.
Much like we're not going to question that paper that you clearly wrote on your spare time. Let's believe that the man had no legs. But back then they didn't have a live feed. But now you're telling me that you could watch if there was a man with no legs, and of course we would be very open and accepting of that. You could watch that or whoever's on there 24 hours a day, right?
Yeah. So I started with season 2, and
is that because you have an issue with amputees?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, it's because I got into it later in life, and like everyone was like, skip season 1. So, it's not.
I think we know why.
fault.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I I started with season 2, and I got really into season 2. Season 2 is really fun. And I would go back and watch old live feed clips on like these old internet sites that would store them. So there would be some like old live feed clips. Now there's 4 cameras. Yeah, there's 4 cameras going on in the Big Brother house at all times. So we could like tune in and watch one right now. Like we could just see them sitting around. They do tend to turn the cameras off if someone is doing something bad, and they do tend to turn the cameras off when they're like recording stuff for the show. But you could just tune in at any moment. Like I bet Nick is in there watching to see what they're up to right now. Like, and you can always look.
So it's like a live stream of like when someone leaves a camera on their rabbits at home or like their pets.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. It's a full Truman Show.
Yeah, but it's really great because sometimes stuff like pops off on the feed.
Yeah, what happens? What's the crazy thing you've seen on these live streams?
I think the biggest moment for me was, so we're just not going to talk about 9/11, right? Like I brought up the Twin Towers, and we'll get back to it.
You can tell us about it.
Ashley, it's called the tea.
I also still don't know how anyone wins or what the show is really about. Just that they're in a house, constant surveillance, and they are acting weird enough that you're like, I'm never doing that. That's all the information I have.
Someone gets voted out. Every week, someone gets voted
evicted.
out. Evicted.
They become the
Brother
landlords.
Mm-hmm,
It's the Stanford prison experiment, but they're the landlords and the others are the poors. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
I got it.
No, you're right. And so it gets down to like the final 3, and then the final 3 get down to 2, and then the jury, which is like made up of the past 7 evicted house guests, decide who get the $750,000 in the end. Okay, so there's a huge moment. Okay, so season 23 was like right during the pandemic. CBS made this big, loud PR commitment to diversity on their shows. So they were like, we're doing 50-50, okay? 50% white people, 50% people of color. And this is
we're going to embarrass people of other races, they said.
Well, this is a big deal because these shows would be like, it would be like 15 white people and then like one black guy, and then they would vote him out, and it would not be, you would be like, oh, but he was fun. Like, we liked it. Why did you vote him out? We liked him. So it was pretty bad. And they were, I want to say they were starting to get better. Like, they were getting into the 2s and 3s, but this was great. This diversity initiative was the right thing to do and has paid off in dividends. Okay, so Survivor has had a few people of color win. I'm trying to think, but like some really like famous Survivor winners, like Jeremy, Yul, Sandra, like actually, yeah, Natalie. There's been a bunch.
Of course, all of them.
I mean, definitely predominantly white, but like still there's been like, you know, there have been people of color win. So Big Brother has only had one in like season 3, I think it was.
Oh, wow.
And a black person had never won Big Brother. So they do this diversity moment, right? CBS. And we get season 23. So such an exciting season because we have 6 people who come into the house and they were like, we're going to make sure no matter what that a black person wins this year. We're going to come together, band together, the 6 of us. They were called the Cookout. And they were like, we're going to make sure that one of us wins. And it was so interesting because not all of them got along. And like alliances are based on like getting along and agreeing and like looking out. And so it was like, and also alliances famously fall apart. So it was like, is this alliance going to last? And they did something that I think is called the onion technique, which is like they each got a +1. So like out of the 6, they each like coupled up with someone else in the house and they were like, you're my main person. But really, they weren't the main person. So the idea was that like you and your couple, is this really confusing? You and your couple would get put on the block and then the Cookout, which was the name of the alliance, would be able to save someone from the Cookout.
Right.
Okay, so you're always coupled up with one person. Okay, so there's this incredible player named Tiffany who was so fun to watch on the feeds, and she was a part of the Cookout, and she had a number 1 named Claire, who was a white woman who like was involved in AI. I don't really remember what she did, but Tiffany was so fun, and Claire and Tiffany were like really great, like strategy wise. It was like fun to watch them plan stuff. Y'all, it came down to Claire going up on the block against a member of the Cookout. And this was a huge moment because we were like, is the alliance going to fall apart? What's going to happen? Like, what's Tiffany going to do? Also, Tiffany's like running the Cookout and not necessarily getting credit for it from her other alliance members. You know, you should go back and watch season 23. It is so good. And there was a moment where Tiffany has to tell Claire, I have to vote you out. I'm voting you out. I'm voting you out of the house. Mm-hmm. And it happened on the live feeds. And like everything, like all of my Twitter notifications were blowing up. Everybody was like, get on the live feeds right now. Like Tiffany's telling Claire that she can't vote to keep her. And Tiffany also couldn't say why. She couldn't say because they had pledged to keep this alliance a secret. And so that is like a huge Big Brother feed moment. Like everyone was glued to the feeds. Everyone, my whole internet community, we were all chit-chatting about it. It was so enthralling. It was drama. It was high drama.
So how much of it, because I imagine when I think about looking at the live feeds, I imagine you're hoping for sucks and fucks and maybe seeing somebody eating like a nice steak or something like that. But how much of it is the machinations? Do you enjoy? Is that a lot of the appeal? The kind of how people play the game, if you will. You like to see that? How the sausage is made. That's the fun part. Yeah,
that's the fun part. Yeah, they turn it off for the sucks and fucks, and the eating the steak stuff isn't fun because there are mics right there, so you're just having like really loud chewing noises in your ear.
ASMR.
Yeah.
But it's really fun when someone like comes in, they're like, I want to talk to you right now. I want to talk to you right now in the wine room. And then like the camera follows them into the wine room and they're like, why did you tell Keanu that I was going to vote him out? Huh? And then you get to watch that happen and you can be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be on the episode. And then you get to see what they include on the episode. And, you know, it's fun. And if you're watching the live feeds, you get the full story. You're not getting the, you know, shitty CBS edit.
Right.
That was kind of my question, is that because in my head, I would think all that stuff, it's maybe not scripted, but, you know, when you watch a lot of reality TV, it's like 3 weeks ago, somebody ate a sandwich and it was spoiled. So then they like recreate that moment, you know, the great sandwich moment. So here you're seeing the real live interactions. How much downtime do these people have
Yeah.
in this house?
Oh my God, it's like 90% downtime.
Are they mostly scrolling? Is it mostly just people? Man, you won't believe
They're
what
not
Trump
allowed to-
did. Do they not have a phone?
Phones?
Yeah, they're not allowed to have
Did
the
they
phones,
not
right?
have a phone? They're completely cut off from the outside world.
From the world, yeah.
I thought that was
If they
survival.
had a phone, someone would be texting them like, "Hey, Ashley's talking shit about you. Like, she's not a real Alliance member. You got to get her on the block."
Yeah.
Is that the term on the block? It seems like
Yeah, it
that's what
means
you're
like-
using. Okay.
On the chopping block?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like sequestering a jury, except that they're
But-
going to kill each other.
And that is where 9/11 comes in because
Okay.
in season 2,
Before you get into this, not since October of 9/11 have I seen somebody so eager to discuss 9/11.
Yeah.
To bring it back 10,
gotta-
11.
it's just
We
really,
gotta discuss
it's so
this.
interesting to me. They're so cut off from reality.
Yeah.
And they're living in a total bubble.
Oh, no.
And so
I don't like
production had
this.
to come in and production had to like talk to them through a screen and be like, "Hey, just so you know, the World Trade Centers were attacked today." Like I think there's only been like 2 times where there's been an update. One was 9/11 and the other one was the pandemic.
Oh,
And
wow.
that was
Right.
Germany. I think that was Germany, Big Brother, where the production came in and like, just so you know, there's like a world pandemic and like everyone's in
You're the
lockdown.
last ones alive. Enjoy it.
Yeah, well, you should know that
Repopulate.
yeah.
Would there be a more perfect place to be
I know, right?
during the pandemic than the Big Brother house? You're all sequestered, I imagine, right?
Exactly. Nobody's getting COVID in there.
It's kind of weird that they're trapped there on 9/11 and then like Osama bin Laden's in that apartment building also sequestered from everyone. He just has
Sure.
to hide in there.
Wow.
No one
they're the
else is
same.
allowed in. Just think about that.
Now,
If
We
I
don't need to.
If I remember correctly, one of the people in the Big Brother house, like her cousin,
Oh,
was in the tower and
Yeah.
passed.
holy hell.
And that is the kind of fun that I bring to a podcast.
I mean,
okay?
that's kind of. I mean, that's just a piece of
Well-
American cultural history, and
I have multiple questions here. For
Yeah, I'd love
starters,
to give answers.
just to, so we don't get emails, the guy who won the first season of Big Brother had one leg.
thank you.
He had one leg.
Is that what you were looking
Yes,
up?
that's what I was
There you
looking up
go.
earlier. My main question, now you don't have you can't answer this one really, but I kind of feel this way about The Floor, which is a game show where I believe if you win, you get like 150,000 or 250,000. So you get 750,000 for winning Big Brother. Why are they not bumping that up to $1 million? Isn't $1 million just
Come
such a
on.
clearly
Come on.
That's a good
better
question.
What
rounder
about
number?
inflation?
Sure, of
I
course.
mean,
on.
Survivor gets $1 million.
And they,
And what are they
yeah,
doing? Sitting in the sand?
Absolutely.
No, Survivor is definitely harder.
But my-
Bugs have crawled in people's ears in Survivor. Yeah,
A bug could crawl when you're in that house. I hear they got ants.
They
over
got
there.
ants.
they do have ants. It's true.
Now, are you obviously? I imagine in any of these things, right? Like you have people you root for, you have people you like, people you don't like. Are you following any of these people in their post Big Brother lives?
Yes, there's a couple. So Taylor Mack, she won. I think it was season 24. Maybe it was season 24 or 25. She's really fun. She's she had like a really interesting story where she was like being treated really poorly by the other house guests, and only the live feeders saw it. And there was like a call online for some sort of action, because CBS was not including it in the edit at all. They are notoriously, specifically the Big Brother team, notoriously bad at including. I mean, we can talk what's happening right now in this season is super questionable. So Taylor was being really, I would say, bullied in the house, and she managed to stay around, make it through. She was part of a really fun alliance called, I think they were called the Leftovers. That's what they were called. And
Nice.
it took her all the way to the end, and then she won. And she's a beauty queen, and she's just like, I hope that she hosts the show in the future when Julie Chen eventually retires. And yeah, I follow Taylor. There's a couple of people I follow. I'm always up on their life. There's also, you should know, takes a lot of work to be a fan. Takes a lot of work, and you have to be dedicated.
Probably
and
more
you
work
have
than
to
it
give your
to
time.
even be in the house. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're
I
just
actually
they're
think
just
so.
hanging out.
Where's your $750,000?
Yeah, where's
I'm not getting paid. I'm just getting paid in good times. It is a nice break from depression. So if you're like feeling depressed,
if you're a depressed person and you want to see what it's actually like to be trapped.
But how many?
it's really nice.
Somebody has to have there has to be people who have a mental breakdown on this thing. I feel like, right? Isn't it
All
the
the time.
isolation? Correct.
All the time.
Yeah.
And they do have therapists. I'm pretty sure they have a therapist on their team, and they do psych evaluations now. In the early seasons, you would have like people come in who were clearly like detoxing. Like they would just like show up at the house after like a crazy coke bender and like, or like alcoholics, or like all of a sudden they're in this house now and they start acting really erratically. There was one guy who was removed from the house. He did some stuff with knives, if I remember correctly.
Sure.
So, there is that option. But
That's
what I'm
woke.
saying, it takes a lot.
That's woke cancel culture. Can't even juggle some knives in front of people anymore. Okay,
I think he slowly like took it over a woman's neck. But
oh my God! All right,
I feel like you could have opened with that before.
Before I defended him.
Yeah,
God.
He's your favorite guy. Dan. What does that say about you?
He is. Quote me on it. Thank you.
So every morning I listen to this guy named Taryn, who has a podcast where he spends like an hour in the morning telling you everything that happened the night before and the day before on the live feeds.
Oh my
God.
Taryn
updates you every morning.
Does he tell you when people are sleeping? Are you getting a camera angle on someone's bed?
No, he's just telling you what happened. He's like,
no, I'm just mean in the live feeds. Like, am I watching somebody sleep?
Oh, if something like if they call Skippy the camera director, so if like Skippy is like purposefully showing something pretty mundane over and over again, yeah, Taryn will note it. It will note that for sure.
All right,
Taryn will make sure you have all the information.
Thank you,
Taryn. Can I say it? And I don't know the man. I'm assuming a man.
Tread careful.
I just feel it feels like he's maybe living in his own personal hell. It's kind of like a Twitch streamer when you realize that they have to work 18 hours a day and they like have an IV to get food. Like, is he okay? Is Taryn okay? That's my question.
Is Taryn okay? That's a good question. I have seen him because he does lives every morning. It's a podcast, but it's also YouTube live. And sometimes he looks rough.
Sure.
And he'll be like, I couldn't sleep. I didn't sleep. They were up till 5 a.m. I didn't sleep at all.
That is the pull for me. Streaming is every time I look at TikTok, there's a man who looks exactly like me, but about 20 pounds heavier, and he's playing Final Fantasy III, and I know that's what he's doing as a job. And I'm like, at least, one step before OnlyFans, I can do whatever that is. And that scares me. It's like they're advertising it to me. Anyway, that's my next gig. I
think you'd be good at it. I'd watch you.
I think I could do it.
I don't know how long, but I would check it out. I'd tune in.
Yeah, we'll probably edit that out. But what I want to ask you, Ashley.
I'm just trying to break it up a little bit. Let's go back to talking about the floor. I had some thoughts about it.
No, but I do want to get into a little bit more of the weeds of Big Brother a little
please.
bit. Because I imagine it's been a long time since I watched that man with one leg win. I imagine that what are the games? What's going on? Give me like a little bit of a run the mill what an episode is like.
Okay, so there's 3 episodes a week, and there's the head of household competition. So everybody competes except for the last head of household. So like if you were the head of household last week, you can't compete next week. Otherwise, you would just win over and over and over again and always be safe. So there's a head of household competition, and then in the head of household competition, in that episode, they also announce who they're going to put up on the block. So they decide who's going on the block. Then there's an episode where they compete for veto, and they decide if veto is going to be used, because you can take yourself off the block. There's 2 competitions. Now there's actually 3, because they've introduced a blockbuster in the past couple of seasons. Okay. So you veto. So like, let's say like Dan is head of household and he put you and me up on the block.
Classic Dan.
That's right.
I know.
I'm always walking around my house saying, I'm the head of this household.
Head of household.
So quietly to myself, I don't let my wife hear it. Anyway.
He puts us up there. You win the veto. You take yourself off. He has to nominate a new house guest.
Right.
Then there's eviction night. So there's 3 episodes. So, but the games are like really silly. It's like dumb carnival games. Sometimes they're wearing silly outfits. It's not like Survivor where it's like, we're going to have a mental part and like a physical part.
The last episode of Survivor I watched, they're like, we're going to make you hold these ropes and lean over the lake. And I was like, this is torture. I'm just watching some people just ruin their rotator cuffs for the rest of their lives in
Survivor
some sort
loves,
of
they love an endurance comp. They love any sort of like long endurance comp. When was the last season of Survivor you watched, Deanne?
I get all my reality TV from walking into the room and getting sucked in for about 20 minutes at a time while my wife watches it. So I've seen Love Island I did watch. Love Island I watched basically all of it and knew all of them. And, I did a lot of tisk when somebody broke up. I'm like, that is just like Huda to do that to someone.
God,
is what I said.
What a nightmare she was, huh?
No, she was perfect. Come on.
You loved her?
She
was a great heel. She was a great heel.
She was
great. But
great.
can you imagine being in the house with her?
That is how I get all my... it sounds like Big Brother is less like the reality TV I'm used to, which is a bunch of cooking competition shows where someone just repeats the premise 5 times in a row. And then they cut to like especially MasterChef Junior. Sometimes they'll cut to a kid in like season 2, and he's like, "I've been waiting for this my whole life." And I'm like, the show has not been on for more than 6 months.
Well, yeah. Also,
so
you're 8.
You're 8. So, but even by that scale, like you haven't been. Even though you haven't been alive that long, you haven't been waiting for this your whole life. And I'll just hear people say that repeatedly. I'm on Worst Chefs in America. I've been waiting for this my whole life. And I'm like, this has been on once. You've never seen it. You're 45.
Those people are also like, they have their phones. They're not deprived of like books. Like you don't get books in the Big Brother house. You don't get writing material. Yeah, they want you to crack up.
Well, what are they doing?
Lose your
oh
mind.
my God.
You
what
get
are they
the
doing?
Bible. You get the Bible.
You get the Bible?
That you can get religious reading material. Yeah.
Oh my God.
How many of them just join the religious rites?
Yeah.
By the end of it.
By the end of that.
They do sometimes get like weirdly religious. Where
You
it's
said
like,
all
okay,
their
we
needs
need
were met. What are they? You got to masturbate to the Bible?
physical needs.
Physical needs.
Said,
I'm
but
sorry.
Not like
not
mental,
spiritual and
not spiritual, mental. What do they do? Sometimes they play improv games.
This is hell. I hate that. They play Zip Zap Zop.
They've been playing a lot of Big Booty this season. Like
No.
right now, they might be doing Big Booty, Big Booty, Big Booty. Yeah, they've been playing that. They lay out in the yard a lot. They have a gym. They they clean. They try and do. They play a lot of chess.
This sounds like Waco. That's all I'm getting.
It's nicer.
It's nicer than Waco.
It is nicer, yeah. And also another way that this is different than Love Island is that like sometimes there's an old person there, and that's fun.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, they should do that they should do that on Love Island though. Is what I would like. It's just a bunch of hot people who are like 25, and they're like, I love to party, and then there's just one old man.
We watched a little bit of Deal or No Deal Island, which I cannot say I enjoyed, but I did like. There was an old man on that show who looked and acted very much like the guy who played Santa on the I Think You Should Leave sketch. And it was mostly hot people and people from Survivor, and then him just being like, I don't know if I can climb that. And then he would finish last, and I think he eventually got voted off. But it really seemed like he had stumbled onto the set. And nobody had the heart to tell him that they were filming a TV show. And I really enjoyed that.
Old people are fantastic.
Yes.
They should be more on reality television.
That's true.
Now, did you watch season 1? Was Rob on there, Boston Rob?
I think it was season 2. I believe we skipped season 1, which made it hard to follow. Made it a little hard to keep up with the plot, but yeah, I think we jumped ahead this season.
Now, I saw Traitors with Boston Rob, and I'm only bringing that up because isn't that crazy that I know who you're talking about, and it's not a person who makes art or plays in a band.
Depends on your definition of art.
I know. I guess you're right. I shouldn't judge. He is
Yeah,
an
for
artist.
real. He's
a
incredible.
conniving. He's an artist when it comes to conniving social games
Did you watch that whole season?
of traders.
Yeah, the Boston
Yes.
Rob season.
I
Okay,
did.
do you remember Danielle?
Yes.
Danielle Reyes?
Yes.
She changed the game of Big Brother.
Oh wow.
She single-handedly changed the game of Big Brother. I'm trying to remember which season she was on, but basically she dominated her season. Absolutely dominated. Played an incredible game. Okay? And then she would go in the diary room. That's like where you talk one-on-one with the camera. And she was vicious in a really fun reality television entertainment way. Like she would do this whole thing where she'd be like 6 down, 5 to go. You know, like she was
Oh my
just...
God.
She
She's perfect
embraced
for
her
TV.
villainous side. She
Yeah.
was wonderful. She embraced her villainous side for sure. And in the diary room. Now, back then, when you made jury, they would just send you home. They didn't sequester you. So they sent the whole jury home, and the jury watched all of these like bits of her in the diary room and got like the temperature of what America thought, and then
Wow.
came back and did not crown her the winner. And if they had not seen all of that stuff, if they had been sequestered and not been allowed to watch the episodes, then she surely would have won. So then after that, from that point on in Big Brother, once you make jury, you kind of go to this hotel where you like can't talk to your family or watch the news or anything.
Just like the OJ trial.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah,
just like the OJ trial.
Absolutely. It is wild to me because I've seen this a little bit now where it does seem like the newest thing in reality shows and these competitions is bringing people from other shows onto other competitions.
Right.
And they're
They're
like, it's like a
celebs.
professional athlete. Well, they're celebs, but it's like a professional athlete too. It's like they're so good at the game. They know how to play
Right.
these games and people are like scared of them. Sometimes they're kind of in love with them. It's an interesting dynamic to throw into any home, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you know who started that? The challenge, because it was real world versus road rules. So they took characters that you already liked and knew, and they
Right.
put them on the challenge.
And I watched it every day.
Absolutely. That's how we got
Exactly.
America's favorite voice of reason, Theo Vaughn.
That's right.
Uh,
I made it all the way through the real life Squid Game reality show.
oh, wow.
And I believe, and I don't want to slander this woman if I'm wrong, but you were watching this sweet Asian woman who is probably, I want to say 50s, 60s. And she was good at every game. She was good at the like diabolical side of it. And at the end, they sort of just let it slide that she was like a CIA interrogator or something. Like she was like worked for a naval. She worked for the government and military in some capacity in a way that when I heard it, like a bunch of alarm bells went off. Where I'm like, well, she shouldn't win. She's been trained. She's been trained to connive
She has
and
an upper
lie to
hand.
people. And she crushed it. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. I'm not saying she won. I'm just saying
Sounds like she won. It sounds like
I'm
she
just
won. It sounds like you're
saying-
saying she
I
won.
mean, she crushed it.
she crushed it.
Yeah.
What a good game. She's dead now.
I mean, that's why like lawyers famously go on Big Brother and Survivor and say that they're teachers.
Sure.
Yes, of course.
You know? Yeah. You
Yeah,
gotta
and you don't want to be an
hide that.
actor on those. You don't want to be
Yeah.
a
Actually-
one trip to the woods.
If you were, maybe this is an odd question for the subject, but if someone were like, I want to get into Big Brother or maybe reality competitions or this type of thing, where would you say would be a good jumping off point?
I think it's really fun to watch a season as it's happening. So, like,
Mhm.
right now is a great time to jump in. There's a lot of fun stuff that's happening on the feeds, but it's about to be not a fun time. So, avoid this season. I'm guessing this will come out in like a couple weeks. And by that time, we will have already started the jury house and things like really slow down once we get to the jury.
I thought you were just going based on vibes. It sounded like someone's, their reading of the planets. You're like, it's about to not be fun. Mercury's in retrograde. Everyone's going to miscommunicate.
This season has been really fun because they brought back this iconic player named Rachel Riley, who was on the Traders, but not on that Boston Rob season, a season before. She's incredible. She's got red hair. You've probably seen her. If you saw her face, you would know her. And they put her in a house with like a bunch of dumbs. And she is just like struggling to play this game with people who really don't understand what Big Brother is. And it's been fascinating. It's been really fun. And so far, there was this guy who was kind of like a very villainous character named Riley, who he was like this bull rider, and he immediately fell for this woman named Catherine, and he wanted to have a showmance with her. And like the whole house was so smitten by Riley. Everyone thought he was a king, a hero. Oh, Riley's such a good guy. We love Riley. The people who were watching the live feed saw how he talked to Catherine when the two of them were alone. And we were like, we have to get Riley out of the house. The live feeders, like it ain't good. It was not good. And there was just this miraculous moment that somehow the stars aligned and Rachel was able to put Riley up and he got voted out. And it was so fun and it was so shocking. It was really a win. But you should absolutely start with season 10. Absolutely
season
start
10?
with season 10. Season 10. Just to get into season 10. You don't have to watch from there on, but like season 10 should be your first season. I'm going to just Google this real quick just so I have all of the names.
Yeah, please.
Oh my gosh. So many good characters from this season. You get one of the considered to be sort of the king of Big Brother, Dan Giesling. He's considered to be kind of one of the best to ever play. He is Big Brother's Boston Rob. Oh my gosh, there's this old guy named Jerry he's absolutely ridiculous. There's the Keisha birthday episode, which is an iconic episode of television. It's just get into season 10. It's really, really fun.
All right.
Watch season 10. Yeah.
And I imagine a lot of the appeal is the community as well. You're probably getting on chats. Are you getting on the subreddit? You're getting involved?
Yeah, it's fun. And it's been really nice because everyone from the Big Brother community has moved to Blue Sky. It's like the only thing I'm using Blue Sky for. And so it's been really fun to constantly be in communication there and feel like I'm not supporting Elon Musk.
Sure.
I have a question.
Yeah, please. No, please.
Are you guys going to watch Big Brother?
Yeah.
No. What?
I'm going to.
Thank you, Ashley. This was very fun. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you to Ashley Brooke Roberts. Follow her on Instagram. And take down that other Ashley Brooke Roberts. I don't know how you could do that, but, get somebody involved.
Email her.
Absolutely.
It's probably an old lady.
I would say write a letter. I would say a letter writing
Write a
campaign.
handwritten
Sure.
postcard.
Correspondence. Now, Dan?
A postcard with a picture of her house on the front.
Sure.
That says, we know.
Now, Dan, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at Dan Wilbur Comedy on TikTok and Instagram. You can find me at Dan Wilbur everywhere else. I got a Substack you can read. You want to read my little essays? Have you had enough thoughts? Nah, you thought so. Get some more, but written instead of improvised on a show like this one. And let me tell you where you can see us live. It's every week at Young Ethel's in Park Slope, 7:30 p.m. The show is called We Have Fun. Zach is also there.
I'm there every single week. Actually, I'm not going to be there in a couple weeks, but I'll let you know about that later. You can find me on TikTok at Zach Sims Comedy, Instagram also Zach Sims. And until next week, see ya, hobby holers!